episode 81 of Thrashcast. My name is Billy, here with my usual co-host Jim and Ken. How are you guys today?
All right, sir.
Awesome.
All right, cool. So just before we dive into today's topic, which is of course bolt thrower, just an update or refresher where you can find Thrashcast. The website's at www.horrormetalsounds.com and or on YouTube at Horror Metal Sounds at kenji.2864. Also on Rumble, Spotify, and TikTok. Please subscribe to the channel, like our weekly podcasts. We greatly appreciate it. Helps our channel grow. We're approaching the 12K mark. So
Yeah.
thanks for everyone subscribing in the past, and of course, once again, thanks for future subscribers. Today's agenda, as I mentioned, we did reveal it on the last week's podcast, and we did sort of mention many podcasts ago that we wanted to cover a bit of death metal on the channel as well. So we haven't, I think, maybe we've done it once, maybe twice.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Um,
Me once.
yeah, one. So I kind of worked through. So we figured let's do. We've done a lot of thrash lately, so let's do a death metal album. So we're focusing on the band Bolt Thrower, covering their second album, Realm of Chaos, from 1989. And then lastly, in the death metal spirit, we're going to cover each of us our top 10 favorite debut death metal albums. So then, of course, Ken's got that right there.
Hmm.
Very cool artwork, which we'll get to. All right. And then maybe just quickly, we'll do our usual roundtable news and what's spinning. Ken, do you want to kick us off today?
Oh, sure. There's not a lot. I know you guys both saw the news about how Dave Ellison hates the new Megadeth, which is
Oh,
a
I
Wow.
watched
I
I
did.
just watched
a
it.
bunch of bullshit because he doesn't hate it. He just said it didn't sound like Megadeth. He never gave it a bad review. He always seems to have a decent view of Dave, even though that their relationship is strained. But I just find it kind of cheesy on people. Oh, Dave hates it. He didn't hate it. He didn't say anything. He just said he doesn't think it's Megadeth. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of stupid, but I guess people will do what people do, right?
Yeah.
When they're online.
I think he should probably. I think he should be classy about it and just congratulate him on a top
He
one, a
was,
number one
but he
album. Like,
did. But he
yeah,
did though. He was very classy. He was very appreciative, and he's like, "Well, I've moved on." He goes, "But I'm happy that Dave is putting out new music," and he seemed pretty cool with it. So
Yeah, when I read the headline, I expected to go and see all this drama,
same
but
here.
yeah,
he was actually very nice. He pretty much
yes,
praised stuff.
yeah. He
Yeah.
didn't say anything negative.
No.
That's why I was like, "Wait a minute!" All he said was it didn't sound like Megadeth in his mind. That's it,
Yeah.
and that's not negative. That's just how he feels.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Funny. And then we all know about Lee Altus. So the news came out that he's left Heathen. Um, so that's kind of a bummer, but Kyle Edison is a really good guitar player. And I know you were mentioning it, Billy, from Invicta from Canada, actually. So that's cool. And then they also announced that they signed to Napalm Records. So we'll see. I guess a new album is in the works. That new single came out, which yeah, I thought it was okay. Never a God. I don't know if you guys heard it, but I thought it was just average. But
Yep,
Yeah, I would agree.
but it was okay.
yeah, it was all right. I'd have to hear more of it to be honest, but I thought it was decent.
I
I'm
agree
still
with what Billy said. It's just
no, go ahead, Jim.
I agree with what you said when we were chatting online there yesterday or the day before. And Billy, you're right. That band, it's just such a good band with such good albums. Especially the first few. And I mean, they've only had like five, but still, this band just can't seem to get over that hump, and it
Oh,
really, really, it bothers me too. I love them so much, but oh, and then this just kind of, it's a little bit of in my mind, it's definitely a setback, and it's like, you know, I like the single, but it's not anything that's mind blowing.
Yeah,
yeah.
agree.
No, I didn't find it mind blowing either. So
No,
I agree with you guys. It was just average. And
And
then
you know what? I want to like it. I want to
what's that?
like it a lot. Like I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh man, and it's just
Well, maybe once you hear more music, you might change your opinion. But
true.
as it stands, it's just okay. It's just okay. And then the other big news was I don't know if you guys remember Cyclone from the thrash band from like the late '80s, early '90s. They released two albums and then called it quits.
Hmm.
Well, they're back with a new EP that's coming out. So the only returning member is Guido Jevels, who basically he's back at singing in the band. I've heard it came out February 1st, but I've already heard a couple songs on it. It's not too bad. I kind of like it. I really like that. If you haven't heard it, go look up Brutal Destruction from 1986. That was their first album. And it's a pretty solid thrash album. I know they didn't really have much of a career after that, but they reformed in 2019, and this new EP sounds pretty good to me. So, and it's on High Roller Records as well. So if anyone's out there looking for it and wants to purchase the album, but yeah, that's it for
Cool.
me, guys. Very quiet week.
Cool. Jim?
Yeah, I don't have much either. I haven't bought anything. Nothing's come in yet.
That's a rarity for you, Jim.
I know. I'm waiting on a few albums. I think my Tail Gunner, which released tomorrow, is on its way. But other than that, I got the only thing that I saw was Voivod. It's got working on a new album.
Yes, I saw
Um,
that. Yeah.
they also are going to be releasing their symphony album, so that's kind of cool. Of the shows they did in, I believe, Montreal and Quebec City. So that'll be really, really cool. And they just put out a new video from their 2023, I think it was, redo of Condemned to the Gallows. So if you guys, I mean, I know you guys are big Away artist fans. So in the video that was released, I think on Wednesday, it's all their drawings set to animation with some live shots from that their legendary first track of Condemned to the Gallows. So, and if anybody doesn't know how important that song is for Voivod fans and the Voivod sort of discography, is the fact that I believe that was the song that went on the Metal Massacre
Yeah.
album, and they had to go. I think it was to one of their mothers who kept like all their old stuff and their writings and stuff, and because they didn't have an actual lyrics. They didn't have the actual lyrics or any original copies of it, so they had to go backwards when they were doing the album out a couple of years ago, where they were doing the not so obvious kind of greatest hits, and then they had the Condemned to the Gallows on there, which was great. So it's kind of an interesting story behind that song. So kind of cool.
Nice.
And that's all I have, guys.
All right, cool. One piece of news I had is which I was pretty excited about. Hammerheart Records out of Europe are reissuing the vinyl and I'm guessing the CDs as well for the band Pariah, who of course were the band Satan, who changed their name.
Yeah.
And so during that period of time, they released three albums that are getting reissued. So they'll be out in March. They're pretty hard to find. So that's pretty cool that they're all going to hit the market now, and everyone can get a copy. I like them. I think they're pretty damn good. So I recommend folks get them. And then in terms of what I've been listening to, obviously had to get caught up, as I'm sure you guys did, Bolt Thrower, but a few other things here. So I've been spinning this CD quite a bit. It's not the German band Degradation, it's the American one. The album's called Revelation in Blood, came out in 94. So this is interesting. Obviously, 94, we know what was happening there, but it's a technical thrash band. But the picture tech thrash, but combined with something more like a death thrash at the same time. So it's pretty unique, right? To have these like really technical, more cleaner thrash sound, but then also you get this heavy death thrash sound in there as well. So I think it's definitely worth checking out. I posted it on my Instagram account recently, and a lot of people knew about it. A lot of people enjoyed this album, so I think it's worthwhile. Dive Bomb Records has the reissues of that. And then finally, I mean, I could complain about vinyl prices all episode long, but last year was a great Canadian thrash release that never made my list because I never actually got my hands on a copy.
Yeah,
Uh,
Hazard.
so
Yeah.
this is Hazard. So coming from Calgary in Canada. So this thing, like, I couldn't find it for under $70 in Canada, which is
Wow.
just crazy for a single record. And then just I have it on my tracking on Amazon, and I go in and check every week. I have like probably 30 albums on there, and boom, it shot down to $30. So I jumped in and bought it and had it the next day. So for anyone who's looking to get a deal, just track those on Amazon. Eventually you'll get hit when they come, get down to the final couple. They end up getting cheap. So, but it's a damn good record. Like I've spun it twice, and I don't know if it would have made my top 10. I need to play it a bit more, but very impressive as most of their work is.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what I do, Billy. I've got like about 30 CDs, and I just wait. And every day I go on every morning before I go to
Yeah.
work, I'm checking them, and they'll put it on for like. And sometimes I buy the copy, and then like in an hour, it's back up to full price.
Oh wow.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's weird. Yeah, it's almost like they're doing it just for you. I know
Yeah.
they're not, but it feels like that.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I do it all the time now, but yeah, this is the
Yeah.
first one that actually hit for me in a while.
Right.
But no complaints there. All right, so let's jump into bolt thrower. So maybe a quick band bio. The band emerged from the UK. Definitely had some connections to the grindcore and punk scene. They formed in '86. Released 8 albums in total, going from '88 to 2005. It's safe to say the band's like key sort of theme and image and album covers where lyrics were largely based on war. So I'm sure we'll talk about that. Popularity seemed to peak as we sort of moved past that debut album and with Realm of Chaos and War Master and For Victory and but the band, I mean, ultimately went out with a very strong album. We discussed that on a recent episode too. Those Once Loyal in 2005. In fact, the band thought it was so good as they were rewriting a new album, they decided to abandon it because they weren't going to be able to match it. So, there's definitely been some member changes. Like on the vocalist side, Carl Willits has done most of the albums, but there are two legendary death metal singers that have been in the band for a period of time. Dave Ingram of Benediction, who actually did one album, and the great Martin Van Druen from Pestilence and Asphyx were in the band, more so doing live shows, never actually appeared on an album, but and then the band continued after that 2005 album, just doing live shows. Not a lot of shows. I looked up their concerts. They weren't that too they weren't that too many shows in those final years, but a couple festivals. And then, of course, sadly, the drummer Martin passed away in 2015, and the band went out on their own terms, right? So that's pretty cool. The way they wanted to. Well, obviously, they didn't want to go out on the death of the drummer, but once they had that information, they didn't drag it on with replacements, and they just ended it. So I think that's cool. And then lastly, I would just say, like from my perspective, and I think the band can be sort of defined or summed up just based on their integrity and discipline and just total conviction to doing it their way. They never followed trends. They never switched to mellow death. They brought in some melody, but they never sort of jumped to the bandwagon or black metal or this or that. They just did their own thing, and I think that's pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Anything you guys want to add on the bio for the band?
I think you nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Cool.
you nailed it.
All right, sounds good. So let's get to our questions. As always, we got a couple questions here. So before we get into Realm of Chaos, just talk a bit about the first album, In Battle There Is No Law. I guess firstly, did you guys like that album? And do you think them coming out with that debut album was hurt or helped by them being in the UK? And of course, not part of the big Swedish or Florida death metal scene. Ken, let's start with you.
I don't think it's a bad album. It's all right. I mean, I know when we discussed what album to do, we this was the album we mentioned, and then you're like, I don't know about this one after hearing it again. I mean, I think it's all right. It's pretty raw and pretty primal.
Yeah.
Obviously, they come out of that grindcore scene in the mid to late '80s, so you're coming up with Carcass, Napalm Death, Extreme Noise Terror, that group of bands all coming up with similar styles and feels. I think it's okay. Obviously, the second album is where they really found their like leaps and bounds. It's so much better. Um, to me, like I guess for me, I don't know if they were hurt being from the UK. I think it's safe to say death metal had certain regions. You knew what the Florida sound was in the States. You knew what the Sweden sound was, and then you knew what the UK sound was. So every little, I guess, pocket across the world had a certain kind of unique style of what they termed death metal. But I don't know if you got a lot of pure death metal early on in UK. A lot of it was mixed with the punk and thrash and the grindcore. So I don't know if it really hurt them. I think they may have gained popularity when the second album came out. But it's
Cool.
a decent album.
Yep. Jim?
Yeah, I mean, right from the album's artwork, which I think is pretty cool. I like the black and white
The comic
kind of drawing. It looks so cool, man. It makes you feel like it's underground. They haven't really figured out their logo yet. I think that album is more of a speed metal punk grindcore death mix. I know it's a lot, but I find like a lot of death metal from the UK in the early death metal albums of a lot of bands. I find it mixes a lot with what we would consider grindcore in North America. But I mean, I think it's great. I found it's got a lot of this. All their albums pretty much are kind of almost speed metalish death metal as well. Especially the album we're going to be talking about. There's so many blast beats and so many. It's so guitar riff driven, and I also like the vocals on it. I think what separates this from other death metal regions of the world, like the Floridian death metal movement, which we're also familiar with, we're kind of, in my mind, the birthplace of death metal. I consider the Death album, the first death metal album. I will stand by that all the time. So I consider that the birthplace of death metal. And I find the vocals is what really separates it, and maybe the speed separates it for me. And I really like it. So I would probably, I mean, we're going to rate three of the albums. And this album doesn't rate in the top three albums for me. But it is a great debut album. I actually really, really like it. And again, I love that artwork. I love that artwork. It's so cool, and it's all underground. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I kind of agree with you guys. It wouldn't rank in my top three, but
No.
I still don't mind it. Like it's a good first effort, but
Yeah.
um yeah, and it's funny, like I never found the UK bands. Same thing with Thrash, got the same level of success.
No.
Like you could say, yeah, Napalm Death is still going and touring, and Carcass is still going and touring, but it was always at a smaller scale than what the
Mhm.
Swedish or the Florida death metal bands did, right? Like I don't like in my eyes, they were always a smaller draw. I'm not sure why that is, but you could say the same with thrash, right? We've said many times the UK thrash bands, unfortunately, just didn't get the same success for whatever reason.
And it's interesting because a lot of modern day death metal lists Bolt Thrower and Napalm Death as like bands that they looked up to, as well as like a lot of the Swedish and obviously the Floridian death metal, depending on where they're from. But a lot of Bolt Thrower I find gets thrown in there as, oh yeah, we loved that band growing up, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So next question. So this is maybe more for any of our listeners who are not familiar with the band. From your perspective, Jim, we'll start with you. What makes Bolt Thrower unique? Like what separated them from the death metal pack, and why should folks go and dive into the catalog?
I think the vocals for me is the number one thing, and I think the speed. So I think it's my favorite death metal band. I've mentioned it on here a million times. Is Obituary. I love Obituary, but I think Tardy's vocals compared to these vocals totally different. And I found like a lot of the death metal movement try to emulate a lot of the more more death. It's hard to say. This vocalist has got a good growly death metal vocals, but it's in my mind it's way cleaner than a lot. I find Tardy's vocals from Obituaries like that as well, where it's a very heavy vocal, but and his is a little bit more down tuned compared to this, which I find is quite a bit higher. But I find them really clear as opposed to like maybe both singers that have been with Cannibal Corpse. It's a little bit more modeled in that sense. But I find the vocals and the speed metal sound that mixes with the death sound with this, like you get speed metal blast beats with this, and then you get some beginnings of melodies and stuff on these albums, and then you get that death metal chug that's always there in the background that kind of reels you in that yes, this is death metal. So and a lot of people say the first album has a lot of grindcore elements. I don't think Bolt Thrower from the second album on has any grindcore. I don't think the vocals are grindcore after a little bit on the first album maybe, but I find for me it's even death thrash, some of it, death speed metal. I think it's the difference between this and the Swedes and the American death metal bands and even the Canadian death metal bands are just the vocals and the actual speed of the music.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Ken?
Well, I think a lot of it's the package for me. The fact that I guess they centered on something like, what we'll talk about it. The Warhammer aesthetic is kind of interesting. No other band that I know is really doing that kind of thing. I mean, if you want to talk about Man of War, but that's a whole different style of music. But they had a package, which I think were smart to sort of like climb onto on this album. I don't know, Jim. I'm not 100% certain that there isn't grindcore, because there is. It's small doses of it. It's not as present as say other bands like say Napalm Death. But I always kind of felt that Carl sounds a little bit like Barney. They're very similar kind of styles. It's very monstrous tones. It's very shrill. It's very tierce. I like it, but I think the vocals make the band stand out. And of course the blast beats. There's so many blast beats on this album.
Yeah,
like that really makes the band sound. So they're a little bit different. But but what Jim, I'll echo what Jim said. I mean, the blast beats and the vocals really stand out here.
Yeah, no, I agree with you guys. Like certainly the war theme is one, but also I just think it's the riff for songwriting. Like I really feel like all these songs are written around the riffs, right? Like I think that's a big part of it. Yeah. I think there's like a good sort of like, especially in the album we're gonna talk about today, there's like a good underlying like death metal groove that like it just feels like a rolling tank, like a rolling tank kind of a rhythm section. So I think that's really cool, and I agree with the vocals, right? Like I think Carl does a really good job, right? He's a bit more of like I guess a mid-range bark, if you will, right? Like it wasn't about
Mhm.
the slow guttural scream like Obituary. It wasn't about like the demonic shrills of like Deicide, or like the rapid fire spewing of vocals like Suffocation or any of those faster bands. So yeah, that sort of created a unique concept. So yeah, I think all three of us are probably in agreement there. Okay, cool. And then so you hit on it, Ken. So let's jump there. So of course, the Realm of Chaos album artwork and themes were based on a gaming tie-in. Like I always knew of this gaming tie-in, but I certainly never played it. So I don't really know other
Same.
than what I hear in the music and see on the album. But I don't know, Ken, maybe you know more about it. Warhammer 40,000. Uh, like obviously it influenced the band's identity.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, I like it. I'm not I'll be honest, I'm not a gamer, so I never played this game. I was well aware of it. It's the concept about Space Marines is kind of interesting. And they did attach themselves to it. I mean, they hired John Sibick, he was a British freelance artist, to do the artwork. He's very famous for doing dinosaur art and a lot of fantasy art. So that was interesting that they hired him, and he helped, I guess, create that look. And when you look at the album cover and you hear the music, it's like they go hand in hand. They
Yeah.
they fit like a a well worn glove in my mind. Yeah, the whole kind of thing that they were licensed from Games Workshop, it's kind of interesting. I I'm not, like I said, I've never played the game, although I will admit I do have actually one. I have one figure that I actually bought,
Of course you do.
yeah, I have one figure that I actually bought, which I kind of liked. So I like the concept, but I will admit I've never ever played this game. But I know it's very rabid among people. Like a lot of people who play this love it so much. And I even know that people who like a lot of metalheads like it too, which is oddly enough, there's a lot of metalheads who actually love this band and love the game. So I guess it goes hand in hand. Without it, I don't know where they would be. Would they be as successful? Hard to say.
Yeah, it's such a key part of their image, right? Not
Yeah,
necessarily the game. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people know the band and they know the war image, and they have no idea about the history of the game behind it. So,
yeah,
uh, but yeah, it'll be interesting if they never went down that war route, like what we would have got. But
true.
there's no doubt. Anytime you see one of the Bolt Thrower album covers, you know it's theirs, right? You don't need a logo on it.
No, very
Yeah.
distinct.
Jim, anything you'd add?
Yeah, I mean, Warhammer used to have. I don't know if they still do, but I know in Halifax they had Games Workshop had a storefront, so
They
you
still
could
do,
go
Jim.
in there,
They
and
still do.
people were. Oh, do they? Okay, I don't know in Halifax if they do. I knew they did, and they guys would be buying all the models and putting them together and painting them and all that stuff, and they'd be playing a lot of this music in the background. So it was kind of cool. For me, I've never played the game. Do I
Yeah,
think it is a great tie-in? I mean, metal and this sort of thing. I mean, the intro and the outro for the album sounds like one of these big
yeah.
rusty war machines running just through a town. So for heavy metal tie-in with the game and that, I think is genius. But yeah, I can't really speak to the game too much, other than the fact that every time, like my buddy had a big Warhammer poster for for one of the albums on his wall. The Bolt Thrower albums cover, and I always
Mm.
thought it was a war. I always thought it was a Warhammer ad. So there you go. It goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
And just a funny thing with Realm of Chaos, this was redone in 2005, but the band doesn't want you to support it because they don't get royalties from Earache with it. And they redid the artwork for it, which kind of sucks. It's kind of cool, but the original artwork is way better, in my opinion.
Same artist though, Jim. No change.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's still John Sibick.
It's still cool, but I like the original artwork better. But I
Yeah,
mean, I saw the two artworks and I was like, oh, why'd they change it? I like the original one. But yeah, it was probably, oh, same artist. Good.
Well, what I do know about that is they had some issues with Games Workshop. They
Oh,
were
okay.
yeah. There's something to do with the license, and they weren't really particularly keen on them using the original artwork, so that's why they went to something different, a
Oh, okay.
different. But yeah, that's what I know.
Cool.
All right. Okay, cool. And so we already talked about vocalist Carl Willett. So just a quick thing. Do you guys are you guys familiar with their Honor, Valor, Pride album that had Dave Ingram on
Mhm.
vocals? What'd you guys think of
I've
that
heard it.
one?
Yeah, I thought it was all right. I
Yeah.
like
It was
Benediction.
good.
So, yeah,
Yep.
Benediction's a good band. So I mean, he's a worthy vocalist to add to sing on an album. I think.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And he's not that
I
far.
agree. Great vocalist.
And he's a similar style, right? He's that,
Yes.
Mhm.
he's out, you can always understand what he's saying. He's sort of in that same tone. And so, yeah, I thought he was a pretty good fit, actually.
Yep.
He
Yeah.
was. Yeah, he was a good fit.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So then so if people are going to look up a couple Bolt Thrower albums, let's give out our top three.
Oh,
Ken, why don't you begin here?
Yeah, for me, it's pretty simple. It's like Realm, War Master, and then the Fourth Crusade. I love all three of those albums. To me, they're all around the same time, and that's when they were at their peak, when they really found their sound and and just the image. All three of those albums are wicked. That's the three I like the most.
Okay. Jim?
I go with Fourth Crusade, Realm, and War Master. I mean, Fourth Crusade to me was I think the first one I got, so I
Right.
have like a soft spot for it. But I mean, that is one hell of an album, and I think the maturity of it being their fourth album was pretty evident there. I love the album. But I mean, Realm of Chaos and War Master, I mean, they're all so amazing. Could
Yeah.
you ask me tomorrow? I could have them in a mixed up order, but these three for sure are my top albums.
All right. I guess I'm a bit of the outlier, but
Okay.
I had, well, not that far. I mean, my number one is the Fourth Crusade from like
Okay.
92. My number three is for Victory, though.
Oh, okay.
It would either be for Victory or it would be War Master, I guess, would sort of be kind of in and about there. But I also wanted to squeeze in like Those Once Loyal. Like I really like that
Mm-hmm.
final album. Like it's
Mhm.
definitely their most like refined album, I think. Like definitely
Yes.
matured the most, and so that makes sense, right? They're not just going to redo the same thing over and over again, but
Mm-mm.
I thought it was done very well. Yeah, so I guess I've kind of have that somewhere in around three or four. And then I would have what we're talking about today, Realm of Chaos, come following it as well. So, but it's so hard. Like I think these are all great albums, and like I think if I
Yeah.
re-rank them like next month, I'd probably have a
You might
different order.
change.
It's
Yeah.
just what stuck with me this week as I kind of listened to them. So,
Well, the thing is, they never repeated themselves. Every album is a bit different.
No.
You know?
yeah,
And when you got to War Master, it's virtually just like death metal, and it's
yeah,
great, and it's
yeah,
great. But yeah,
cool. All right, so let's jump into Realm of Chaos, the track details. So, track number one, I mean, this is the intro, but I
yeah,
still think it's pretty cool, so it's
it
worth
is.
talking about. So,
Yeah.
Jim, we'll start with you on this one.
Oh, I love it. I think the intro, and you can't mention the intro without the outro because it's kind of a continuation of what's going on. I love it. It's got that machine track sound that sounds good. Maybe somebody speaking from a bullhorn at the top of the tank. I picture Warhammer. I picture maybe a Waze version of Roar with the machine with Korgil the Exterminator, and it's just the cool evil kind of talking. Reminds me kind of a Voivod, something Voivod would do. But I think it's really cool, and it sets up the album with like, yeah, this is what you're gonna get. This is just like, this is gonna be a Warhammer, War Master, War. It's everything all tied into one, heading into this, and as we go into the songs, it definitely gives you a good insight into what you're gonna get.
Yep, sounds good. Ken?
Yeah, I agree, Jim. It's great. Like you have like the clanging sounds of metal, the machines moving. It's got
Yeah,
that constant repetitive march, doo, 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 like they're coming in to destroy. And that technically does describe what Warhammer really is. They're like
yeah,
an army of space marines all decked out in armor and metal, and they just basically destroy. Like the figure that I own, this is called a Blood Angel, and the Blood Angels were the ones that went in and just basically loved bloodshed, and they just destroyed everything in their path. So this song kind of brings that up to me, at least I think. But yeah, it's great. An opening, it's so great.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's actually one of my favorite intros, right? It's not a
Yeah,
musical intro, but it so perfectly sets the stage for exactly what's to come. Like I
yeah.
love that military. I assume it's a tank, but I don't know. But and I like that spoken word, right? Like
yeah,
it's so cool. The like he goes like on countless worlds, the earth shakes as the forces of chaos strive to gain control. Whilst they unleash the devastating weaponry upon their foes, there is no time for peace, only the eternal war. Like it's so amazing. Like it kind of gives me goosepimples as I re-listen to it this week, getting ready for the podcast. Is so cool. Okay, so
Yeah.
Ken, that'll bring us to track two, which is the first official song, "Eternal War." Take it over.
yeah. This is great. Like it does kind of erupt right away with a lot of with that violent roar, and then the pummeling sounds, and then you get everything just kind of comes together at the right time. You get the raspy and shrill vocals, and then those words. Carl just like he just chokes it all out. It's so great. And then they throw in that little guitar squeal, the first one at 137. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's almost like Slayer. It's almost like Slayer meets Morbid Angel. I've always kind of felt that they borrow heavily from those two bands in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But it's a great song because it's all about like the idea of the humanity's endless cycles of conflict and all this corruption and oppression. And it's just it all comes together in that song. It's great. It's short, sweet, but it gets to the point.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you nailed it. Like all the guitar playing, I hear Morbid Angel
Yeah.
definitely big
Yeah.
time. And yeah, Slayer there for sure. And like I think it's really cool. I mean, the song's only 2 minutes and we actually get like that mini guitar lead or whatever you call it at like what just past 130-minute mark. So
Yeah.
that works out for me. Jim, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, what I like about his vocals, it has that growl. He has a growl more so than a scream or a yell, and I
Yeah.
love that. That makes it different than every other death metal singer kind of out there. He more growls it, and I love that. And I think this is the good intro to his vocals. So if you're listening to this album for the first time and listening to Bolt Thrower for the first time, you realize that these thick, kind of growly vocals, but they're very, very clear. So you totally get what he's saying, understand what he's saying. And I love that. I mean, it's like a new version of death vocals. I love it. It's a speedy song. I had 138, 137. I love that guitar. Slayer, big time. But then at 149, I get almost the Celtic Frost vibe of To Megatheron. Like, it kind of brings me back to that. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's got kind of a bit of a really weird feeling to it. And there's a couple of Frost, old school Frost vibes in a few of these songs I get, but oh yeah, I get Slayer 137. That it could be off of a Morbid Angel album
Yeah, that's what I think.
for
Yeah.
all it's worth. And I mean, it's just a wicked song and a great follow from the intro. So I mean, this is like one of those magical. I agree with you, Billy. The intro is one of my favorite intros because it's just so poignant on what the album's going to be.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, my biggest complaint is probably just it's so short, right? This is
Yeah.
probably some of the punk and grindcore influence. Like, there's a couple of these songs that are like 2 or 3 minutes that I feel they could have
Mm-hmm.
easily expanded into 4 minutes because all of the other
Oh
tracks
yeah.
on the album are 4 minutes. They never sound extended. They're always the perfect length. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my biggest disappointment. But the only other thing I'll call out is I just love the drumming on the album.
Oh
Like
yeah, the
Andrew,
drumming's
like the
fantastic.
yeah, like the blast beats just which to me is where whether that's right or wrong, I think of the blast beat drumming coming from the grindcore stuff, right? That's where
Yeah,
I sort of see the influence.
yeah,
So I definitely still see grindcore on the record, but yeah, just a great short song, but short to the point, and it just rolls over you. So okay, so that brings us to track number three, Through the Eye of Terror, and Jim, we'll go to you.
Oh, I mean, this has a wicked riff and bass intro, and it has that wicked growl again. This song is where speed metal meets death metal, and you don't hear that very often. You talk about the blast beats and the drums. This song definitely really hits that. At 150, you've got the vocals cut in with the bass, the fast drumming, and I think it's really, really offsetting, and it's cool. I mean, it's just this song is a heavy attack. And 58 seconds, like the song comes in, it's almost like a melodic, kind of slower vibe to the start of it. And then at 58 seconds, the song just speeds up. The drums just rip in. And I find it's one of my favorite songs on the album and a great follow up to song number two. This one's a killer track.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Yeah, I think it's cool. Like I love the way Carl starts with that
Yeah.
guttural growl, right? Like I wish he would do it more, actually. Like
Yeah.
just suddenly do these growls, like because he's so good at it, and he does it on a couple of these tracks. But Jim, you mentioned that 1 minute mark, but once you get to that point, that riff that kicks in is like
Yeah.
one of my favorite riffs on the album. It is so damn good, just completely memorable. And there's a bit of tempo changes in here. It's not just
Mm-hmm.
one pace. Like
few.
the songwriting is cool, so I think that totally works. Um, yeah, I mean, this song just makes me think of like marching into battle or marching into hell. It's just really good, and yeah, no, fantastic. Ken, what do you think?
Yeah, it's like a grinding, relentless, like riffing, badass song to me. The lyrics are cool though. I like the lyrics because it's all about the perspective of the soldier's fractured thoughts. You're getting that throughout with the lyrics. I think that's cool. And then the vocals are like I like how they're barked out at times. They're
Mm.
brutal. The whole song itself, again, it's short. It's not a long song, but it packs a big punch. It packs a huge punch.
Yep. And it's kind of long for this album at 4 minutes.
True. I guess. Yeah.
But
True.
I
True.
hear you. It's a good point. It's not a long song in the modern age for sure.
Mhm.
Um, okay. I think I got both of you guys on that one, right?
Yep.
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 Yeah. So then, Ken, we move to Dark Millennium.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this track?
Well, this is some great drumming on this one. I have to tell you, the drumming is fantastic, and
Yeah.
that's just pummeling, and it just hits you over the head like with blunt force trauma. It does not, and it has like this relentless pacing to it. Oh, and I love those guitar squeals when they erupt at 219. Whew, totally
Yeah.
blows me away. The song is really, really good. And again, like it's bleak. It's all these lyrics are so bleak. Like, you're talking about the endless war and the metaphor for the future is that we're gonna live in ruin. So it's like, yeah, there's no sunshine and rainbows here, let me tell you.
Yeah, I know, right? It kind of has this atmosphere, or it feels like oppressive in a way, as you're listening to it, right? It's moody almost, but yeah,
Mhm.
like I agree with you. It's all about the drums, right? It just the pummeling drums are just bring this track, fuels the track all the way. And actually, the vocals, like, despite it being like such a, like aggressive drum track, I actually find this is some of the more memorable vocal hooks
Yeah.
by Carl, right? It's actually somewhat catchy,
Yeah.
if you could say that about a bull thrower vocals. But Jim, what are your thoughts?
Well, I thought the same thing. I thought the vocals on this seem to be, even though they're super heavy, I
Yeah,
find them a lot cleaner and a lot more memorable, like in the sense of, wow, yeah, this is pretty catchy stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the drum beat is almost like tribal on acid. It's crazy. That cool, heavy, darker intro. And at 17 seconds, it kind of goes right into this cool chug. And remember, the song is only 2 minutes and 59 seconds, so it gets to the point pretty quick. And then I keep falling a second behind Ken, but at 2:20, 2:19, as Ken said, that kind of guitar riffing solo just is so heavy. It's just really cool. At 1:58, you get that repetitive riff that is so memorable. 1:07, the song just speeds up and leads with another heavy drum beat. So, I mean, yeah, this is my only complaint about this song is I could have had it go for another minute, but I think that's what makes these songs so special. I mean, the whole album's only, I think, 38 minutes. So, and then you take off 2 minutes for the intro and the outro, you're down to 36 minutes. It's a pretty fast album for sure.
Well, I mean, the short songs worked for Slayer, Angel of Death album, right?
Yeah.
So it can work for anybody.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So, Ken, did you do this one yet?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we're on All That Remains, and Jim, track number 5.
Oh man, like it's like repetitive, that cool heavy riff intro. I find it's got a doomy sound, much more darker. It's just such a cool, it's got it's much compared to what they have. It starts off much slower.
Yeah.
It's got a really darker groove to it. At 59 seconds at the minute mark, it's got that wicked riff that just kind of lights things up a little bit and leads into another memorable chug. I think the backing death chugs on this album are so cool, mixed with those riffs. I mean, this is the drums are amazing on this album, but this is such a guitar-driven album. The song speeds up with bits of melody mixed in, but with super speed as the song progressive. But it's got kind of a softer sound, and I like how it speeds up right to the end. I mean, I think it's got this song isn't like, we're on song 5, and there's no repetition here other than the fact that this is the heavy drum beats and massive riffing. But great song. I love it.
Ken?
Yeah, the one thing, Jim, I think you didn't mention was that 58 seconds, you get that guitar riff, that when the guitars erupt. But then this followed up by one of Carl's roars, which I think is great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. I just love that little bit there. But, the guitars are like a punishing wall of sound. So you have to, if you're not accustomed to that kind of sound of music, you might not like it. But I don't know who wouldn't really love that kind of style. And you mentioned it, the doom. That was the one thing I noted too, that there's a slight like doomy influence thrown in here, and it's great.
Yeah.
3:37, you get that another one of those guitar squeals that just make just like it's the cherry on top. It's so great. It's so great. And the whole song's about like a post-apocalyptic world where the civilization is left in ruins. So you get the point. They want to hit you over the head with those kind of lyrics.
Yep.
So definitely a doomy outlook.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite tracks on the album. I think you guys have pretty much hit every single one of my notes, but yeah, the doomy intro, I have like at 58 seconds, that riff comes in and takes it out of the sludgy sort of gutter it was in for the first minute. But, and Ken, like that was my next point was, like I think, again, like 5 songs in, the best opening vocal growl by Carl, no doubt, for sure. It's just again, he doesn't use it like super often, but when he does it, it's so effective. And yeah, I find those guitar flourishes like they're just chaotic, but they're perfect for the song. And chaos is perfect for the theme of the album as well. So yeah, I agree with you guys 100%. Okay, so then Ken, sticking with you, we go to track number 6, Lost Souls Domain. What do you think?
Yeah, this song actually is a direct reference to the game. So basically, in the Warhammer universe, there is like a nightmarish war-ravaged dimension where the souls are all trapped, and this song kind of refers to that. Again, I don't play the game. I know little bits and pieces about what happens in this kind of universe. And yeah, it's great. So they used it to create this song, which I kind of like. It's got a sort of a very militaristic kind of opening, and then you get the grinding guitars, and then it just with that goes with the pacing, and it's utterly like I love it. I think the vocals are even a little on the unhinged side at times for me, but this is a really good song as well. Not one of my favorites, but it's up there.
Yep. Jim?
Yeah, like that punishing drum beat that comes in with the backing guitar is really cool. At 24 seconds, you have that heavy riff that leads into another low kind of, I call it a scream growl. This one, it's kind of cool. This is probably the song on this album that gives me more of a full on death metal vibe, like full on, like it's and I think it's got to do with the punishing drum tracks. At 225, you get more of a melodic chug that kind of changes the song a little bit. And then I like the kind of overlay kind of riffing right to the end of the song. So it's really it's kind of cool how they did it. And well, it makes sense if they're talking about the game in this probably trying to mix it up or whatever. But no, it's again, like Ken, I agree with Ken. It's a great song, but not my best songs are coming up very shortly here. But it's a good song for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with you guys as well. I think we're all kind of in agreement so far on all these tracks. Like the only thing that you got that I would call out is this one actually has some pretty good. I mean, the drumming stellar all the way through, but this actually has some pretty cool cymbal work in the song,
Yeah.
more so than some of the others. So I think that's kind of cool and worth.
Oh, and also one other note: this is probably one of the first songs with more of a memorable chorus to it. I found this song had a pretty good chorus to it compared to it's low and guttural, but it's really cool compared to a lot of the other songs.
Yep. Yeah, no, you're 6 tracks in, and you don't feel like they're all repetitive of each other, right? There's all something different about each of the tracks. So, okay, so we might be getting into those tracks you were talking about, Jim, that you really like. So track number 7, Plague Bearer.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
This is one of my favorites.
I
I'd
thought
say
so.
it's a one B on here, but those high pitched riffs leading into that wicked death chug is just. I mean, I find the album is just starting to really pick up a ton of steam now. Not that the songs prior were not good, because some of them are my favorites too, but this one's wicked. It's got a heavy groove to it. And it's I mean, it's got almost like if you heard this live, this would be one that would be headbangers would bang their heads to. I think definitely the pit would be alive. It's just chock full of so many heavy riffs. And this one here musically gives me some early Celtic Frost vibes. I don't know why. It's almost like it kind of erupts into a speed thrash death song all balled up into one. And it takes the best parts of all three of those kind of genres, I think, and it's genius how they it's just the riffing. It's almost like chaotic, out of control, but still controlled. It's weird. It's so good. Such a great track. Say it's my 1B with my 1A coming up.
Yeah, I guess I probably feel the same way. 7 and 8 are two of my favorites as well. So, but sticking with like Plague Bear, I mean, I think it's probably, this and track 8 are the faster, more aggressive tracks. So that of course appeals to me. Like I love the chaotic guitar runs at the open. And this track I feel shows their grindcore roots more so than some of the others. It definitely comes through here. I mean, it's short, but it's direct and vicious, and that's the way I like my my metal. So, Ken, what would you add?
Yeah, you guys pretty much said everything about the song that needs to be said. I mean, for me, I guess I can just say like they're the structure of the whole idea of the plague bearer is not a literal person carrying disease, but it's more like a symbol of war itself. So I think that's kind of cool what they're trying to refer to. But yeah, what you guys both said is great. I mean, there's a wall of sound, there's the pummeling blast beats, the chaotic riffs. It has everything. It's a really crushing song for sure.
Yeah. So it sounds like we all agree here again. So Ken, we'll let you take potentially one of the
Yeah.
better songs on the album, World Eater.
Yeah, I think we all agree this is probably a close to being the best song on the album. I mean, it's a direct reference to the Warhammer lore. So like the world eaters are like they're brutal, they're vicious, they're space marines, and so what they do is they're devoted to like bloodshed. So they come in and they just annihilate everything in their path. So it's a cool idea. The song itself, it's great. It's got that really good engine that starts up, and then you get those squealy, chaotic riffs when it starts, and then the drumming gets
Mhm.
involved, and it just goes off the charts for 2 minutes. And then 2 minutes in is when you get Carl starts to sing, and I think it's great
Yeah.
Yeah.
how he jumps in. It almost feels like two different songs to me a
Yeah.
little bit, but I don't mind that because I like the way that Carl comes in and he ties the song together. The world leaders is great. It's so great, and the riffs. Whew, wow, awesome song.
Yep. No, I mean you literally hit like every one of my notes. So yeah, no, I agree with you. Like I think it's really cool. And I guess there's there's like an evil voice or something
Yeah.
that kicks into the track at like
Yes,
four
yeah,
minutes.
that's right.
That's kind of cool there. And I like the drum fills that close the track. It's a little different than some of the more standard grind drumming that we've got on the album. So those are the only other two things that I would add. Jim?
You guys said it all. I mean, I've got written here it's the evil sounding track. Those chaotic heavy riff intros are just so cool, and that growl that happens during the intro is cool too. But I like the continuous riff that keeps going throughout the song.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
Ken hit it on the head with two songs in one here, because at 2:04, 2 minutes when his vocals cut in, it almost seems like the song kind of speeds up even more. And even at 2:20, there's kind of a little solo, maybe a mini solo that sounds so cool. But it's like two songs in one. That's a great reference. This is my favorite song on the album. It's such a ballsy, evil song. I love it.
yeah.
I think this is one of the band's most popular songs.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
I
for sure.
often hear it come up as like
Yeah.
a fan favorite, so that makes sense. Okay, Jim, we'll stick with you for track number 9, Drowned in Torment.
Yeah, this is a great song. I mean, it's got that heavy death metal vibe. I love it's got a really cool guitar kind of sound breaking in to a melodic vibe. And at the minute mark, this is another one where the vocals cut in a little later, which is kind of cool. Gives them time to really set it up at 1 minute. It's just at 1:37. There's this really cool. I think it would be considered even a riff, like a multi riff or a mini solo, I guess, which is really cool. At 2:10, you've got those even more different riffs, and it's kind of a broken solo into two or three parts, and I kind of think that's really genius. And then you've got that fast chug that leads right to I consider it kind of an outro to the end of the album. But I mean, this is a really cool song as well, leading up to another one of my favorites. But this one here is definitely a really different song on the album. I absolutely think it's great.
Yeah, I mean, you did an excellent job going through it. The only thing I would add is that slower, sort of swampy, grinding pace that kicks this track off. Like in my mind, the first like 20 or 30 seconds sounds like it's literally pulled from an obituary album. But then they
Yes.
lose that comparison very quickly, right? But like I've never seen like those opening riffs and that feel. That's like 100% obituary or 120% obituary. But yeah, I think that stands out first thing for me. But then, as I said, that they get off of that obituary comparison pretty quickly. Yeah, Ken, what do you think?
Yeah, pretty much Jim nailed the song entirely for what you get here. I mean, I'll just say like these guys, I don't know what side of the bed they got off out of or who pissed in the Cheerios, but there is nothing pleasant about any of these lyrics because basically it's just a constant kind of, you're being consumed by relentless pain, fear, and violence. That's the whole point of what Drowned in Torment is. So for me, it's like, wow, nasty stuff. But yeah, this is another great song as well. I like this too. I like it quite a bit.
Yep, me too. So that brings us to track number 10, Realm of Chaos.
Yeah.
10. Where are you
Oh,
with
it's
this one?
my favorite song on the album, Realm of Chaos.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah, like, again, the song ties directly into the Warhammer universe. So this song is actually inspired from the album artwork that we got on it, and it's all about this overall depiction of like overwhelming chaos. It's got some of the best riffs, I think, and at 107, you get that slow down, and then it just picks and it winds right back up, and it goes like a frantic and thundering pace with the drums when they're sort of like all mixing together. It's so great. And this has, I know we mentioned that a couple earlier songs where there's a chorus. This actually has a pretty good chorus, I think, for me, anyways.
Yep.
And the solo is great. And I think for me, this song has the most variation out of all the songs on the album. But I love this song.
Yep. All good points, Jim.
Yeah, this is a 1C for me. This is another amazing song. I mean, holy cow, that heavy chug intro and those riffs, it almost has a Morbid Angel intro, but then it loses that because for me, it just, the song is super heavy, but then like at 107, like Ken said, and then at 112, you get those riffs with the heavy drum blast beats that come in. And it just, I mean, it's just so memorable. And again, this is another one with a really great chorus. And I think, as much as I like chorus, I like songs without choruses, but I kind of like the fact they haven't depended on choruses in all these songs. This is probably a makeup. This song here reminds me of every other song on the album, little bits of it, but put together in another different way. And I think here we are on song 10, and there's no repetitiveness other than chaotic guitar riffs that aren't necessarily repetitive. I think it's genius. These guys were geniuses as far as I'm concerned.
So what you're saying is that creators should listen to these guys so they can get off all the every song has like a catchy chorus. That's what you're saying, Jim.
Yeah. No, I like chorus, but
so do I. Yeah, I do
like
too.
chorus. I like it when the chorus is hidden. Yeah, like the meaning of the song makes up the chorus for me, and I like you, Ken. I like that fact that it's good to sing like he's the one they call Dr. Feel Good. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. There's a point to it. Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. But great song. One of my top 3.
Cool. Yeah, no, once again, I don't think we've ever had an album where we all sort of agree. That's why we're going so quick. We're all got the same points, the same thoughts. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys. I mean, it just sums it up. It's brutal, but it's catchy. And it's a good ending track. And like, I think if you have like, if somebody's buying the album now and there's like, you have the reissue, I believe there's one more track that either comes either before Realm of Chaos or after. So I don't know it well. Like I have like the original CD. So, or I guess
it's Prophet of Hatred.
Prophet of Hatred, yeah.
Oh, Prophet of Hatred. Okay.
Yeah, it's on the CD bonus track. It's the CD bonus track. It's a pretty cool song.
Yeah, I like it. It's
kind
of
fit in? Does it sound like the others, or does
totally
it sound like it was dropped?
Yeah, it fits in.
Like Ken says.
Yeah, it's a bit more hooky and catchy, but it fits in fine.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I should go listen to it. It's not something from like the previous album, though, right? No, I don't think so.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I'll give you a quick synopsis because I just listened to it as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I think it's got more of a thrashy, hooky vibe.
Yeah.
But it's got a thick groove to it. And it's like even heavier vocals to some degree than some of the other songs on here. But yeah, I think it's a really good song and it fits in perfectly right on this album. What do you think, Ken?
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I have no problems with that. I like that. I actually like the song myself.
Same with me.
And then the lyrics, like it's all about the Carrion Lord, which is another character in the Warhammer universe. So I think it's kind of neat how they created this dark character for a song. And you're right, there's a lot of groove to it, a dark, nasty, brutal groove to it. It's good.
And
You should
as
listen to
much
it. Boy.
as and bands should take notice of this. Every band should get this album and go, instead of putting a shitty cover on here, we put on a bonus track of a really good original song.
Yeah, with a bit more variation, but it works. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Cool. And you guys think it was written around the time this album was made, or maybe later?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. It would maybe be around this time. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, because the album was fairly short, right? Like if it was a leftover track and you guys like it that much, you would think they could have added it on there.
Well, actually, the album's 38:12 in minutes, but this song is listed in there. So this is 3:52. So that drops you down to about 34 and a half minutes. Plus, you've got the 2 intro and outro. So this album is technically, the original version is just under 32 minutes long.
Yeah, it's like Rain and Blood.
Yeah.
Sort of like a Rain and Blood.
All right. So anything else you guys want to talk about Bolt Thrower before we go to
just the outro? I love the outro.
Oh, we missed the outro. Yeah, that's my bad. All right, Jim, you go before we get you too excited.
The outro makes me feel like there's just a wake of devastation in behind this whole thing that just roamed through a city, a village, a planet, whatever. Yeah, and it's just people are coming out of the ruins and they're like, what the hell did we just get hit with? You know what I mean? And that's the feeling that it has. You could just hear them kind of roaring off from how I feel. I feel it's some sort of armored division rolling off, but futuristic armored division. It's really cool.
Yeah, the Blood Angels. They're called the Blood Angels.
Oh, okay, cool.
So those boys are the heavy artillery. They come in and they kill, destroy, annihilate, and they move out. That's pretty much what you get. So I think these opening and beginning parts are somewhat reminiscent of that.
Hey, you know what makes me remind me of those intro and the outro is like the Terminator movies when the guy would be telling about how, you know, the Terminators would be driving through and flying through, and they would be, one Terminator steps on a skull, you know what I mean? And that kind of makes me, I used to buy the Terminator comic books, so like it was so cool. And I love those the best part of the Terminator movies in my mind were the flashbacks to the future. I guess they would be flashbacks, flash forwards. I don't know how you would say it, but he would be telling about the future to Sarah Connor and saying like, this is what happened, and the scene where the dogs find the Terminator. As soon as I envisioned that totally when I heard these 2 intro and outros.
Yeah, you got it. I think that perfectly describes it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now we gotta play the
game. Never played the game.
No, me neither.
I guess they're not the only game to influence metal, right? Because I mean, you could argue the whole power metal scene is to some degree based on Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
How many power metal albums have dragons and stuff and wizards and things on the cover, right?
Many.
Exactly, right?
Blind Guardian is one of the better examples.
Yeah.
You know,
and I know Unleash the Archers actually play online. They play D&D, I think.
Oh, do they?
Members.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was a popular game. I never played that one either, but
no, I don't have the imagination for it.
I was always just rather listen to music than to play the game. So
listen to music and get drunk.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Anything else, gentlemen, you guys want to talk about Bolt Thrower?
Check out this album.
Yeah, go for it. This album's amazing.
Yeah.
I love this album. I like grindcore in general, but this album I really, really like.
Yeah.
And let's face it, you can't be wrong if you find one of the others that come after this first. No. I mean, those are great albums as well.
Well, I don't think there's a bad album in their discovery.
No.
Like there's not really. They're an interesting band. They got their own unique sound and style. So yeah, and you could check out any one of these albums and probably get something out of it and really like them, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that I totally agree. Like, just so consistent, the band, like
Yeah.
in terms of quality output. I mean, they don't have a lot of output, but they're still what they did was really top notch.
Well, Billy, one question for you. Have you heard Carl's other band, Memoriam?
No,
Yeah, I don't really care for it. It's death metal, but I have the second album and I thought it was okay, but I just couldn't get into it.
is that like they're putting that out now, or was that back in the day?
No, no, that's out now. That's one of his current projects,
Oh, okay. No, I don't
Memoriam.
know them.
Yeah, they're like they have I think 2 or 3 albums out now,
Okay.
or maybe 4. I know they just put out an album out a few years back, but yeah, it's all right. Like it's okay. I don't know. It's
Oh,
not.
based on your review, I might not jump to go get it. I can barely keep up with what there is.
Yeah, I
Hey,
hear
Ken,
you.
I got a question for you. Did you like the artwork on Fourth Crusade?
That's,
Apparently that's a famous painting. I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's okay. Yeah, it's got a more. You could tell they were I guess aiming for something about more a lofty ambition
Yeah.
with kind of a more painterly style. I like it. It's got a classical look and feel to it. And I think it does fit the album to a T.
Yeah.
I forget who the artist is, but it is
Oh,
a
I
really
got it
good.
here. His name was Eugene Delacroix.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
he's a well-known fine artist.
Cool.
I was gonna say, for some reason I know that name, but I don't know why. But maybe it's because he's a famous artist. I don't know.
Well, he's definitely a famous artist.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, so let's get to the final segment. I'm curious to see how much overlap we have. I think we're going to have probably a fair amount, but maybe I'm wrong. So, final segment, our top 10 debut death metal albums. Who wants to kick it off?
Yeah, I'll go.
All right, Ken, you go ahead.
All right. So, yeah, I was thinking that before we started this that we might have some overlap because we all kind of grew up with death metal at the same time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's possible, but we'll see. So the first one I'm picking is Thanatos. Now
That's
Thanatos
a good
is
one.
yeah, this is a good band from the Netherlands. Um, sort of this is the first album emerging from the netherworlds, 1990. It's very it's kind of thrashy, but they actually over time sort of leave their thrash roots and go more into the death metal style. But I like them. I've always liked them. I like all their albums. I own all their albums, and they're pretty solid. And this album cover art is, I love it. It's so great.
Yeah, it's
I
cool.
love it. And then the next one I have, of course, I'm sure Jim, I know you probably have this on your list. Dismember.
Yeah.
That's a
Yes.
classic. This is like a classic Swedish death metal.
Love it.
Like an ever flowing stream. The cover is great. I like the cover. And it's a great album. Well, I mean, what more can I say about it? It's Dismember.
Yeah.
And then
There's
of
a
course I
song
got
on there called Skin Her Alive that is just so, man,
Yes.
I have just bought all the Dismember discography, and that album is a masterpiece. So yeah, it'll be on
Well,
my
if you look
list.
at the back cover, they're covered in
Oh,
blood.
I know. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's great. It's totally great. Totally great. And then of course I have Grave on there. You have to have Grave. I mean, these guys from Sweden as well.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Mine has actually got it's got the first album and it's got the demo tracks from before the first album. So it's kind of
Cool.
it's kind of a cool little pickup that I got. 1991 Into the Grave. It's a great album. Very underrated. I don't think they ever got the accolades like say Entombed got, but I've always liked these guys. Robert Carlson's a really good singer. I love it. And then next I have this is one band I like a lot, Massacre, their first album.
Yeah.
From Beyond. I mean, it's the guys from Death minus Chuck, and it's Cam Lee on vocals. I love the Zed Repka cover, but I always like this album. Terry Butler, Rick Ross, Bill Andrews, pretty solid lineup. It's kind of sad that they've reformed, but I don't feel it like I felt it on this first album. But I love this album. And then next, I'm sure Billy, this is one of Billy's favorites too, Atheist.
Oh yeah.
The
That's
first
our
one.
first match so far.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, well, so we're different. That's good. Yep. Piece of Time. Love this album. It's like, death thrash. It's got progressive music to it, jazzy parts. I love this album. You'll never get bored listening to it, I don't think.
Yeah.
There's always something new every time I listen to it.
And what I think is really good about that, Ken, is it's definitely, as you said, technical, the one of the first technical albums,
Yeah,
but they didn't
exactly.
go too far. Like the
No,
next album lost a lot of people. Like I still
Yeah.
enjoy everything they did,
yeah,
but
same
this
here.
is just the right amount of technicality to make them, as you said, unique and always you want to go back, but not losing people by going too far. A fine
Exactly.
balance.
Exactly. But I
Yeah.
love this album. This album's great. I love the album cover. It's like it's an Ed Repka piece. So it's kind of an interesting. I like it. It's great. And next, I don't have it on me, but I couldn't find it. My Rigor Mortis. I still love that album to this day. I mean, you could say it's more thrash than death, but I always consider like a death metal album because of the lyrics and the music. But I totally love that album. It's one of my favorites. And then, of course, I've got in the last four, I have Death, Scream, Bloody Gore.
Yeah.
Good album. Like I said, I don't.
You have to have it.
Oh yeah, it's in my list. I don't dislike it, but it's not one of my favorites. I mean, with the exception of like Evil Dead, which I think is a great song from the movie, Zombie Ritual. There's a lot of really hard hitting
Zombie
songs on
Ritual,
it,
yeah.
and the cover by Repka is awesome. I love this cover, totally awesome. And then Morbid Angel number 3. So I've got
We've got 3.
Now the funny thing for me is I love this album, but I love Blessed in Contempt more, or Blessed are the Sick way more.
I love
the second
Covenant.
album. What's that?
I love Covenant.
Yeah. I mean, they don't have a bad album, at least in the early part of the catalog. The later stuff is brutal, but this stuff is really, really good. I love this album cover too. It's so great. Yeah. But yeah, these guys are so influential. Everyone will probably cite them as an influence. But it's a good album. And then, of course, number 2 for me is Discarnate. Now, nice. I've talked to Billy about this a bunch of times. I love this album. I love the artwork it's great artwork by the Sandman artist from DC. It's so great. I love it. This is such a great album. And it's just too bad that they didn't put anything else out after this. But, the great James Murphy. But I love this album. I totally love this album. I heard the drummer died a few years ago, though, which is kind of sad. But it's so great.
That's a good pick. I that would have been on mine. I totally forgot about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, there's a lot you could pick, and I had it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I always liked it. It's one of those albums. Even both my younger brothers love this album. They totally dig this album. Everyone I know likes this album, and yeah, it's. I don't know if it's not remembered, but you hardly hear people talking about it, which is kind of sad. But James Murphy's so great. And then for me, my number 1. Now we already did a podcast on this, episode 63. You can go back and check it out. Left Hand Path. My favorite death metal band is Entombed. I love this album so much. It's so great. The first couple albums are fantastic, but this never gets. I never get bored of this. I could listen to this every day, and it wouldn't bother me. It's so great. I love their logo. I love their image. It has a lot of really good songs on it. Yeah, this is probably one of my favorites to this day.
And Wolverine Blues. There's so many good albums. The first 3 albums are fantastic.
Yeah, the first 3 albums are solid. I mean, even though the Wolverine Blues is a little bit of change in style, I still like that album.
Same with me. Yeah.
I still like the album quite a bit. LG Petrov will be missed. It's too bad he passed away a couple of years ago. But now there is rumor that they are sort of working on a new album, but I don't know. I haven't heard much about it since that time. They've been talking about it now for 2 or 3 years, and they have played shows. They've actually played some live reunion shows in Sweden. So I'm hoping that an album comes out. I'd like to hear a new album. It would be really cool. But that's my list, guys.
All right. Well, kudos to you, Ken, for pulling out all the CDs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes, I didn't.
For the top 10, I stopped. I got to be honest. I have like vinyl all over, not
Yeah.
laying on the floor, but stacked like nicely on the wall, like go all the way back to like episode 40. Like I haven't been putting them back, so I stopped pulling them out. Like it just, yeah, it's a lot of work.
Oh, don't worry.
So,
I've been digging through my CDs. It takes me hours to go through everything.
Yeah.
So everything's all over the
yeah.
place now.
And my
So
CDs are not even in order. Like, so like I couldn't even find them if I wanted to.
mine were at one point, but lately, ever since we started Thrashcast, yeah, everything now is just all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then really quick before we go to Jim, Ken, so I'm going to ask the same question to you, Jim. I know my answer easily, but so if I look at your list, I think I know the answer to the question, but if you had to pick Swedish death metal or the Florida death metal scene, and you only pick one, which one would it be?
Oh, oh, that's a hard one. I don't know. I would still go with. I'd still go with Sweden.
I thought so because most of your like it really dominates your like for
Yeah,
me it's the other way and my
Same.
picks are dominated by Florida bands but so yeah I think that I thought that would be the case.
yeah.
All
Sweden.
right, Jim, how about you? Your top 10. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. So we had four matches there.
Okay, cool.
So
Oh,
my
okay.
number 10 would be 1991 release, Immolation, Dawn of Possession.
Good
Good
I
one.
one.
like pretty much every Immolation album. That's pretty straightforward death metal. So really, really cool. Nothing I'm going to say there. Number 9, I picked Deicides. Obviously, their 1990 self-titled
Yeah.
debut. It's an interesting band because I really like them. I like their last album was really good, but a few of the albums prior to that weren't so hot. But the first, I think, 3 or 4 were really good, and this one being the debut is one of my favorites. Number 8, I went with one that's kind of a little out of sorts. I went with Nile.
Oh, yeah,
Amongst
good
the
band.
Catacombs of Nephron Ka. I mean, I like pretty much every Nile album, and their last album was so cool. This album was really, really good. Pretty solid. They always have great albums they put out. My number 7 is a band I super love and could rank a little higher. Maybe I put a few of the my favorite death metal bands, maybe not necessarily their albums, but Autopsy, Severed
Oh, good one.
Survival. Oh my God, 1989 to 1991. You've got death metal is just so awesome.
It's a good 3 years.
Oh yeah, Gasping for Air, Critical Madness, Autopsy. I think 2 years ago had an album out. They are
Yep.
just relentless, brutal. Oh man, the album cover on this is cool, and they have two. They've got the one with the kind of spirit being kind of ripped apart, and then they have the one with the doctors on it, which I kind of really like that one too. So exciting band. Number 6, this is one like we had I went with Death, Scream, Bloody Gore, 1987. I mean, I consider this the first real death metal album. I know, everybody's going to say it's possessed, but I think Death, Scream, Bloody Gore, Zombie Ritual wins it for me. It's not my favorite death album. Like Ken, you brought it up. I think I put it on here just because it's the start of the movement, so I have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
have it on here. But I mean, I think I've talked about my favorite death album is Leprosy. My favorite death song is Pull the Plug. Second is Zombie Ritual. So, but I mean, oh my God, Death's catalog, Human. You can just go through it like crazy. Number 5, I went with Suffocation, Effigy of
Oh,
the Forgotten.
cool. Good
Again,
album. Good album.
1991. And then I think, correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys know this, but I think every album, was it this album that every album since has had a track on it? Or is that another album they did that with?
A track on it? What does that
Yeah,
mean?
so what they did was was it this album or the second or third album that had the really poor production? Oh, I can't remember. I should look it up. I should have been more prepared for that for my own question. But so on every Suffocation album, the past albums they've been re-recording one song. I think it might have been the third album. I'd have to look at it anyways. But
Okay.
I think they've done 3 or 4 songs now on every album from one of the first few albums. I can't remember which one it is. Maybe it is this one. I'm not sure. Number 4, another duplication with Cans, Morbid Angel, Altars of Madness, 1989. You got that sweet spot of death metal. And Morbid Angel, just, I mean, those first 4 or 5 albums are just fantastic. And oh man, I just love them. Number 3, and this could easily be my number 1. And I think maybe it was one of my favorite when we did our favorite death metal albums. This might have hit my number 1. So I'm kind of contradicting myself a bit, but I picked it for number 3 here. Dismember, Like an Ever Flowing Stream. Oh man, the song Skinner Alive is just so cool. And Bleed For Me. And I love the fact that the EPs before this for that band are really, really good. And you can pick them up now on latter releases. They'll put them like with one of the albums, and you'll get the EP as part of it. So that's kind of cool. Okay. But I mean, what a band. This band here is just amazing. Number 2, another one, Entombed, Left Hand Path. I mean, this is classic death metal to a, you got to have Entombed there. We did a whole show on it, so I'm not going to get into it, but and out of all the bands, I think Entombed is probably the most accessible to some degree. Yeah. Maybe Obituary, and that leads me into my number 1s. I have to pick Slowly We Rot. I mean, every song on this album is just so good. I know the next 2 albums were probably better albums, but I mean, I remember buying this in 1989, and the cover. I mean, the cover art back then. I mean, the newer fans have to remember that when you went into the record store, you went in half the time without even hearing a stitch of any of this music, because they never played it really on Much Music or the what is it there? The American channel, Much Music, and the one that just closed MTV. Down. Yeah, MTV. Sorry. And you'd walk in and you sort of pick albums out by like either what you read in magazines or the actual album art got you, and the album art got me on this, my favorite death metal band of all time. But I mean, I love it, and there's a live version of this album too, which is really, really good. But I mean, John Tardy's vocals just blow you away the first time you hear it. If Death invented death metal, I think Obituary definitely had a hand in there and sort of helped perfect it. So that's my thought. And one other band I was going to put on here, but I think maybe they could be classified as more of black metal, would be Dissection. I don't know what you guys think about that. Dissection?
Quite death. I mean, they have elements. Yeah. I think the black metal is more prevalent.
Like the Somberlin, which is a wicked album. I really love that, but I think it's more maybe black and death more so than just straight on death. Yeah. But that's my list, guys. All right. Do we have any, Billy, that cross paths?
Yeah, you and I had a couple unique ones. I mean, no surprise, like obviously the Obituary one, right? And yeah, like I agree, that album cover, like I remember when that album came out, like you used to be able to buy those like giant, like 6-foot, like black flags of your favorite album cover. Like I had that thing hanging in my room, and like my mother used to get so angry, like looking at it, like every time she came in, like just, that's disgusting. Okay, cool. All right, so my 10, and I wanted to get this band in here. I put it as number 10. Excuse me. It's a modern band, and so but modern bands still have a debut, right? So I'm going 200 Stab Wounds. Slave to the Scalpel, which came out in 2021. I mean, I love this band. I mean, so fair enough. They're basically paying tribute to all the bands we're talking about and the next 9 bands that are going to be on my list. But they do it so damn well, right? Like it's probably my favorite modern old school death metal band.
I agree.
Yeah, and what I'll say is the live show is as good as any of the legends we just talked about on any of our lists, because these guys are killer live. Like the
A
whole
great
place
line. Yes.
goes to hell, right? Like
Yep.
it is like the most vicious live performance. Like it's so good. So they have to get on the list, and I wanted to shout them out.
Good
Here's a
one.
unique one for me, number nine, maybe more so because I grew up in Montreal and Quebec. So Gorguts,
Yeah.
Considered
Yep.
Dead,
They're a good band.
1991. Again, like this is before their big tech metal album. So more classic, just old school death metal, but still fantastic record and very popular in Montreal at the time. So that one always stuck with me. Number eight, you guys both had it. Death, Scream, Bloody Gore. Again, not my favorite either. I would obviously have to go Spiritual Healing or Human right in there. But I agree. I think, I don't know if it was Jim or Ken who said it, but yeah, this to me in 1987 is the first death metal
Yeah.
album. Like,
Yep.
I
I would
think
agree
it's
with that.
silly to even bring up other
Zest.
bands, and I don't care
Yeah.
who it is. So, um, number seven's another unique one for me. Again, you can see me on my US death metal side. Malavin Creation, The Ten
Oh,
Commandments.
Good
The
one.
first
Good
three
one.
albums are brilliant, but I just love this thing. It's raw, it's violent, it's just killer. Those first three albums that they did are just fantastic, and they were a bit unique that they entered like thrash metal territory at times
mhm.
with some of the songs. Brett Hoffman, who sadly passed away, such a good vocalist. Number six, Jimmy, I think you had this, but Deicide, their self-titled
Mhm.
1990. I mean, I was never into the whole Satan worship thing, and whenever you picked up a magazine, it was about Glenn's like inverted cross on his forehead.
Yes.
I thought that was all stupid and silly, but like
It
they
was.
just can't be denied.
Yeah.
Those first two records are some of the most brutal, aggressive
Yep.
death metal. Like I just love it. Like so, it's got to be on there. Again, forget about the image, but it's about the music. Number five's another one we all shared, Entombed, Left Hand Path. I mean, that guitar tone is just, that's all I'm going to say about this record. It's all about that tone. Number four, again, another repeat for us, Morbid Angel. Altars of Madness. You guys said it all, but well, I mean, I just think the band's so talented, right?
Yeah.
Like Trey's guitar work and
Mhm.
Pete's drumming and David's vote, like it was just, it was so good, like coming together. And I struggled with four or three. Wood Order? Jim, I matched you here. Suffocation, Effigy of the Forgotten. Just a great album. Again, this probably the next album is my favorite Suffocation album, but
Mhm.
this is still good. It's heavy, aggressive, the big breakdowns, but still plenty of technical undertones in their music as well. But not to the degree of my number two, Atheist, Piece of Time. And Ken, you and I already talked about that one just before. Just the right amount of technicality. And with Jimmy here, I'm number one, Obituary, Slowly We Rot. Yeah, the next album is definitely my favorite, but Slowly We Rot is still my second favorite actually in the entire discography. So it was such John Tardy's vocals like
Yeah.
was such an impact on me back then. Like I just it was crazy. I didn't know what the hell he's saying, but
Yeah.
it didn't really matter. It's just I would stick a moan here and stick a groan there and a growl here, and it was like his voice was an instrument in the band. Like
Yep. It
it
was.
was just so cool and unique. So yeah, so definitely love that one. So yeah, I mean we each brought a couple original ones, but as we suspected, four or five overlaps for sure.
Oh, that the Suffocation album that they're re-recording one song at a time was from Breeding the Spawn.
Yeah,
Oh,
that one's not great. Yeah,
Yeah, so like
yeah.
on their last album, they had Ignorant Deprivation, and I think that song three. So I think they've done like from three albums ago, they've had one, two, and three, and I believe they're putting a song on from that album that was poorly produced, I believe.
Yeah, no, it's one of their worst produced albums for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. But I forgot about Malevolent Creation, and I'm buying all their stuff. I got my name at the local used record store that every time one comes in, he puts it aside and calls me. So I'm trying to get all their all. I think I've got 6 albums now. But oh yeah, I totally forgot about them. They're awesome. They're
Yeah.
from Boston, right?
Well, I think they ultimately move to Florida though. They
Yeah, I think they did.
relocated to Florida, so I
Yeah,
always thought of them as Florida. But
yeah.
you might be right. They definitely didn't originate there though. They moved.
No,
Yeah, could be.
cool.
All right, so that was fun, I think.
Yeah.
All right, and actually, Jim. So, same question to you. For me, it's U.S. based death metal. But if you only had one, would it be U.S. or Swedish death metal?
Oh man, that's a hard one to pick because I
Yeah.
love Dismember so much, but and into I got to go with Floridian. I think it was the first. I mean, the first death metal I ever heard was Death, and the first like really. I mean, when I heard Obituary, I think it just changed me. That again, you hit it on the head with John Tardy's vocals and just the sound of the album, and then the next 2 albums to follow were just so monumental in the death metal movement that these guys have never put out a bad album, and I think that whole death metal, the Floridian death metal. I mean, I'll even nail it down to the Floridian death metal movement is what I mean, this is where death metal was spawned. So for me, I gotta go. American, just North American. I'd say I forgot and Gorguts. I totally. I totally forgot about that, and but oh man, I just there's so many good bands, but yeah, the Floridian death metal movement definitely. I mean, Cannibal Corpse could be on here. You could just keep going. So yeah,
Yeah. I started with Cannibal Corpse in my list, but then
same
they
with me.
slowly got knocked out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. One thing, again, coming from the Florida side, I wanted to call out, I guess an honorable mention would be the band Nocturnus, The Key.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
right? Like really unique,
Yes.
like
Good
bringing all those
album.
keyboards into that Florida death metal sound. Like I love that album.
Yeah.
Remember, Billy, I was telling you a couple weeks ago I saw it at
Yeah, we
Sonic
were.
Boom.
Yeah.
$25 used.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I wanted to buy it, but I was like, $25. That's insane.
Yeah, we were talking about it just recently. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But
$25.
I thought it was cool you put 200 stab wounds in there. I didn't even think about modern death metal. And I was like, just so stuck in debuts. I'm thinking of all my favorite debut albums. But yeah, that one is an amazing band, an amazing album.
They're great
Wicked.
live, Jim. They're awesome
Oh, I
live.
want to see them so bad.
And it's just because of the live show, right? Like I've got to
Yes.
see them now 6 or 7 times. Every place, like it just the whole place goes to hell. Like I
Yeah.
think Ken and I told this story, but like
Yeah.
when we watched them the one time here in Toronto, like you get all these warnings about the merch tables and stuff, and
Yeah.
trying to because the crowd just goes absolutely insane. Like
And they did.
yeah, like it's like yeah, I mean Ken and I were glued to the nailed up against the side of the wall there. Like
Pretty much. Yeah. It was
it was
crazy.
like chaos the whole show,
Yeah.
but
It
really
was a good
good.
show.
Yeah, no, I loved it. All right, that sounds good.
And they tore a lot with Necrot, who's I've seen them on a like they opened for Obituary on my live feeds 2 Christmases ago, and I thought they were really good. Well, I was watching them live through a live feed, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Right now, Necrot's good too. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
cool.
Oh,
All
good.
right. So I think that wraps this episode. So that yeah, so 81 episode 81 of Thrashcast. I hope everyone enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed doing it. For the next episode, I don't think we talked about it. I
No,
mean,
yeah,
so I guess we'll tune in next week and it'll be a
Ken's pick.
surprise. Yeah,
Yes.
Ken's pick. So we'll see what he comes up with. So again, thanks everyone for following. We appreciate it, and we'll see you all next week and bringing forward another fun topic. Have a good night.
Yep. Good
Good
night,
night.
all.